All right, guys, we're here with Senor Professional, Mr. Michael State. What up? What are we doing today?
What it do, guys? So I played something really out of the norm because I just wanted a nice change of pace. I've been playing dry tunnel format. Honest to God, I got bored with it and wanted to try something more out of the box and something relating trap cards because y'all already know I love traps. So I went and played Traptrix Amazement for this event. Very, very good in testing. The amazement cards are kind of low key and like caught a lot of people off guard. And I just love how the cards interact with each other. So I just wanted to play something with that. And Traptrix I felt was the best sub engine to play with the amazement cards. And for tournament experience, I went 5-1. I lost in round 4, and I lost in top 8 to the Dogmatic and Vote Shadol player Jose the Boy. But tournament experience was very, very good. My matchups went well. I played dry and try, and I beat that. So I can contend with the meta. So let's see what we played. Alright, so main deck. Through Mammalia, you already know what this does. This is the OG. When normal summon searches for a trap hole, and its mandatory effect that makes you destroy a opponent's set or spell trap definitely comes up. Obviously, because turn 1, if you open this in Brigadine, you're able to activate its effect even though the opponent has nothing, and you get to trigger Sarah's effect. So it's much, like too much value right here. And then the second best normal summon on the deck, Mantis. She's the opposite of this, searches for a Traptrix monster, and its quick effect on field, it can target a set card, return to the hand, and then reset a card. So that part of the effect can come up when you have Traptrix on board, but that rarely happens. It's just a nice little +1 value in the deck. And then 2 Dianea. When she's normal, she revives the Traptrix from the graveyard in defense. So it gives you an extra body for link climbing, as well as making a free rank 4. Who doesn't want rank 4s? Because every rank 4 in this deck is like kind of busted. And also triggers Sarah, so definitely nice to play too. And also in the grind game, when like your opponent is playing the game, you can just revive this, or you special this from Sarah, and then get to set a trap hole like Gravediggers back, and then when you're playing the game, it protects you from hand traps. So that effect comes up more actually than the on normal summon revive effect. And the last 2 Traptrix, one for the scoop, the new one.
This guy's bro.
Dude, I used to be retired. This one is actually an extender because you get to send a spell trap from the field to specialness from your hand. That effect actually comes up quite a bit, and also in the graveyard you get to banish it when you have no spell traps, reset a trap hole. So this, as an extender, can trigger Sarah with just 2 Traptrix in your hand, and that's it. And then 1 Atrax. If I were to be completely honest, this card did not come up. I would actually have preferred it to be a 3rd Mantis, because this effect's cute when you abuse the Link 2 and this effect to keep bouncing the trap holes to your hand. But the game state usually doesn't get that far, so I'm actually probably going to cut this for another Mantis. And that's it for the Traptrix. Now the other engine in the deck, 3 Administrator. This card is insane. It's a 2600 multi-faker that activates on any trap card, meaning even counter traps. So you get to summon it from your hand, and then whenever your opponent summons a monster, you get to either Book of Moon basically after resolution of the effect, or you get to search for one of him. So it's really, really strong in the fact that it gets a big body on board as your main attacker of the deck, and it can banish traps from the graveyard, the attraction traps, to destroy cards in the field. So it literally does it all in one, what a trap deck could ever want. Very, very good. And then extenders, we played 3 Parallel Exceed. This card plus any Traptrix is a rank 4, and Sarah, which you usually want to go into Rafflesia, but this card's too insane not to play 3. I say some builds playing 2. Even if I draw the second one, like, it doesn't matter. I don't draw it later game. But as long as I see the card, I'd want either Rafflesia or like Dweller. It guarantees me a turn almost just by drawing the card. And then my only non-trap hand traps, 3D Shifter. This card was insane. Round I think 3, I played against Jose again, and he went first, and he activated Invocation just to start his turn. I changed Shifter. He banished Invocation and 2 Shadows out of his hand. It got free value. This card is nuts. In theory, it's just the best hand trap going first or second, because if you go first, you can literally just activate this card from your hand and then start playing, and then your opponent's cards are banished during the turn when they're trying to crack your board. And like, the card is just insane. If it resolves, it almost is an auto pass, but it's good against every single matchup, so why wouldn't you play it? And this card you can see going first, that helps. And then that's all the monsters. The spells, just 3 prosperity. Nothing to say here. The extra deck is sort of flexible, and like you're only digging for 3 anyway. So the deck's already consistent enough. Traps, we're gonna go for the starter traps basically first. So 3 Shade Brigandine. If you have no traps in your graveyard, you can just set it and activate it that turn, and it becomes a level 4 body. So you get to trigger Sarah, you get an extender as a level 4 to make rank 4s. This card's just unreal, and you really want to see this and any Traptrix monster in your hand. That's like wombo combo type. And then 3 Imperm. This card's obviously really good in this deck because it's Imperm multi-faker, but like better because you get to summon that guy and Book of Moon something instead of just bouncing something. So yeah, this card's definitely needed. My only trap holes, 2 Gravediggers and a Floodgate. I wanted to put another Floodgate trap hole in here because this card's just great against almost everything. And like sometimes you do run out of trap holes in your deck to get free value. I just had to keep the deck at 40 just so I can see my extenders being the Shade Brigandine and Parallel Seeds to keep the deck more consistent. But yeah, this is good for now. I just wish I could find room for a 4th. And then the attraction traps are 3 Horror House and 1 of the Coaster. So their individual effects are when they're set, they can attach to either an amazement monster you control or your opponent's monster, and they have different effects based on whoever you attach to. I'm not playing Kamaka, so usually the only effect that comes up on these is your opponent side, so I either get to search for another admin or I get to Book of Moon something, so that's free value. And even if I draw them, they're not garnet, so I can just set them and activate them and book something or search for the guy if I need to. Very, very good cards. And then other traps, best traps, 3 Solemn Strike. Shout out Kamal, you already know, these were his, so he gave me the power today. 2 Torrential, and I think the best trap in the game, Order. I don't know why this is still legal, it won me so many games. Yeah, that's a 40 card main, extra deck. We got 3 Sarah. The 3rd usually doesn't come up, but it's something that can help in the grind game against lower decks. This card is just so busted to have all those effects in one link one, especially since the monster from your deck and searches a trap card, like all in one card. And if they would have made it use one of the effects once per turn, that would have made the card a little bit more balanced, but this card is just unreal. That's really the reason what pulled me into this deck, was resolving this card for so much. And then the other Traptrix link, we play the new one. She requires 2 insects or plants to make it, and once per turn you can actually reset a trap hole that you activate from your set. So if you have your Gravedigger trap hole set and have this on board, you can just activate it, negate a hand trap, and then just reset it. So it's free value. The other really good part about this card is if you have like Dianea and a trap hole engraved during end phase, you can just reborn the Dianea effect, reset the same trap. So like you're getting 2 free cards, and you're able to stop for your opponent on your opponent's turn for the follow-up. This card's kind of crazy. 1 Link Spider. This came up maybe once. It's only in there for the scenarios you open just Shade Brigandine and Parallel Seed, which does happen. So like I want to at least have some room to play if that kind of a break hand happens. Other links are 1 Phoenix, just generic. This card came up maybe once, and this never came up. The DLS link, just because I played the amazement cards. This card's basically unoutable in Sky Striker almost, so I decided why not play it, and it's a Dragoon out if anything that comes up. The new links, the Exceeds, we got Wonderful Asia, Traptrix deck, do the math. One of this girl, this didn't come up at all actually. More so I use it off Prosperity, or if I'm like really behind and I need to set a trap hole, I just use 2 rank level 4s, just make this, reborn a guy and trigger Sarah, but it's just another Sarah activation. This Redoer is amazing in this deck if you open Brigandine, because it's A Dragoon out, and B, if it stays on the field long enough, you hit spells off your opponent's deck, you just keep drawing cards. It's insane value trading. Dweller, rank 4 deck. Baguska actually comes up a lot versus Try because they just can't play the game, and especially with you negating Fractal with Gravediggers, this card is unreal in that matchup. Zeus, actually play so many Exceeds, and then Utopia and Lightning. And out the Ignister link, if you need to attack into a set monster, make sure it doesn't trigger anything like Shadal's or Alistair's set. This card protects it. So yeah, it came up quite a bit actually. And then 15 card sign. It's basically just 3 ups for going second, and then another card for going first. 3 Droll, obviously good against Dry, it's good against Ignister, just against combo decks in general, or the invoke deck depending on how I'm feeling. 3 Bell against Tri Brigade, possibly Dry Drawn depending on how their deck's built. 3 Cyclone and 3 Evenly for back row decks and mine decks, because this deck doesn't really have a mine out, so you have to side heavy for that. And then for going first, 3 anti-spell, just so they can't lightning storm and whatnot.
Awesome. So is there anything you changed about this deck?
I would really try to fit in a 4th trap hole. That's about my only concern I had with it, but I don't know if I want to play 41 or 40.
And how did you get so pro?
Oh my god, dude. The eye knows all, man. Let me tell you.
Michael State plus.
Oof.
And 1 through 10, how much do you like the card on wiretap?
Oh my god, I hate him.
All right.
0.
All right, guys. Later.
See you later.